Rouse's Markets is voted best grocery store in New Orleans, best grocery store in Baton Rouge, Mississippi, Gulf Coast, Thibodeau, Houma, Hammond, Lake Charles, Mobile, year after year. Thank you for choosing us best grocery store on the Gulf Coast. Number one. Thank you.
Thank you.
The number one grocery store
In Mississippi, Alabama,
Louisiana. 1 million customers a week can't be wrong. Welcome to Rouse's.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Bayou Time. I'm your host, Keith Whiteside, licensed clinical social worker with Terrebonne Home Care. Very glad you're joining us. However you may be joining us, we appreciate it very, very much. And very much like here at HTV, you'll see me, but you don't really see Jason behind the scenes and all the things that he does. Over in Lafourche Parish, we see Archie quite often, but we don't always see the rest of those team members that work so diligently and so hard. We're glad to welcome back to the program Mitch Orgeron. Mitch, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Keith.
I appreciate it. Mitch is the Chief Administrative Officer over in Lafourche Parish. And, it's one of those things that you kind of specialize in coordinating and managing. We have a storm like we did with Francine. People don't look at it very much like a major storm, but it often has these major impacts. Let's talk a little bit about how you guys are recovering from Francine still.
Really any storm that'll come across Lafourche is something that we have to spend a lot of time preparing for. And then, of course, no matter how weak storm may be perceived, we actually have a lot of work that we have to do. We just recently finished all of the debris recovery here in Lafourche, and the debris contractors in the process of moving on away. But that took a good month of recovery planning and execution. So fortunately, we've been able to do that. We still have some buildings that we're addressing. Believe it or not, we actually had to do some additional mitigation in some buildings as it relates to our courthouses that took on some water here in Thibodeau because of Hurricane Francine, in addition to the damage that we had from Hurricane Ida. And we also had some damages across the northern part of the parish where we had the greatest impacts from Hurricane Francine, primarily in the Thibodeau area. And those folks are still in the midst of their recovery.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things don't really stop. We're still, like you said, the combination of where Ida meets Francine, people think, oh my gosh, it's a 3-year difference. Well, Ida made that big of an impact. And then Francine on top of that, it takes a lot of effort, a lot of recovery, and a lot of coordination. And that's what you guys in the office does a great deal of.
We do. There's a lot of work that happens within the office itself, but also we have a lot of contractors that we have to rely upon. And, those contractors have done a really good job of coming out and really supporting Lafourche. So, just like we want to say thank you to our linemen that come out and help restore power in a really quick manner, we want to be thankful to our contractors that come out and actually help us pick up the debris and work through the processes that we have, whether it's responding to getting buildings up and running, making repairs to those buildings, making repairs to drainage, so on and so forth. Those folks are just as integral to our operations as the planning that we have to do internally. There's a lot of steps that we have to do on a pre-positioning perspective. Whether it's, filling sandbags or making sure that we have enough sand and fuel on hand to be able to pump out water at our pump stations. But also all the different things that you would do at your house, preparing buildings, it is an equal process, and it really takes a tremendous team to be able to execute that. So no matter how small the storm may appear to be, we still have to take all of those steps. That way we can protect the public.
Yeah, we've got such beautification processes that take place. It's why people love coming down for events all along Lafourche. And very often, a lot of those things need to be picked up, much like you said, at your house. And if you don't, they end up in our waterways, or they end up, in debris pickup where we have to do that. And so we're really glad for your team to do that. I have a quick question. As we've moved from the 5-day outlook to this 7-day outlook now that we get for storms and seeing the potential, tell us what it's like from a planning standpoint to be able to have a couple extra days to see what's happening.
Well, having a few extra days is definitely helpful, right? It gives us the ability to really take a long, hard look at, what assets we have staged, where they're staged at, and how fast we need to maybe respond in certain situations. So a really fast moving storm, we have to execute a little bit harder. We have to put out notices a little bit faster, whereas we can take a little bit more time. Fortunately or unfortunately, we've been through this so many times. We've got a battle rhythm that we've established with the team that we have. So we really know where everyone needs to be at. They really know all the parts that we all play. So it makes it easier for us as a team to be able to execute that. Ida's, really prepared us well. And then all the 7 name storms that we had in 2020 really helped us get it together.
Right.
But again, no matter what, you can't sleep on anything that's in the Gulf of Mexico, even what we're looking at today. We still need to be prepared, and we have taken those actions. I see we have the forecast up as we speak, and right now there's still an expectation that it stays in the Gulf, but we still need to be prepared. So we've made sure that we've filled sandbags, and we've made sure we've got sand on hand. We haven't deployed that or put them out, but we have made sure that our drainage systems are ready to go, that we do have fuel in our pump stations, that it's adequate to handle several inches of rain, and that no matter what potentially comes of it, we're ready to go and we're ready to respond.
Yeah, and again, it's one of those things that Archie echoes all the time. Of course, Archie Chesson, Lafourche Parish president, about the teamwork that takes place, knowing what to do, and being well prepared. You guys are certainly that well-oiled machine. And if you will, we need to know where the machines need to be, how much oil they need, how much gas they need to run them, much like you mentioned. And so we're really, really happy about the fact that we get a good look at these kinds of things and we can do that ahead of time. And so, Mitch, we're really glad that you guys are all working towards that same goal. And we're prepared, even if this is just a rain event, we're glad to be prepared and or prevent any of those waters rising. So we very much appreciate your time today. And thanks for coming to talk with us. We look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you, Keith. And, I just want to wish everybody to keep a good lookout on the storm, particularly those that are in low-lying areas. We're already seeing some high tides, and we can potentially expect those to continue while we have those southerly winds.
We appreciate it. All right, Mitch, we'll do that. Be on guard. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Take care.
All right, guys, this will do it for this particular segment, but don't go anywhere. A lot more Bayou time when we continue.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your health is our legacy. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bourke, know your rights.